Hey, help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also hit that like button to subscribe if you want more Cavs-focused content.
Cavs just beat down the Minnesota Timberwolves in the debut of DeAndre Hunter to this team. So one, very good news to see the Cavs, at the very least, maintaining their dominant ways, even after trading off Karis LeVert and George Niang. But also, it was nice what we got to see from DeAndre Hunter against a team in Minnesota who's not playing great. I think they're barely out the play-in the West, right? Like they're the 6th seed in the West. But last year, this was a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals. This is a team that has legit wings, like to play against. Well, Anthony Edwards really a two, but this is a team that has that size and length that usually bothers the Cavaliers. So you wanted to see defensively how they came out. And in the first quarter, I thought they did a really good job against Anthony Edwards in this one. As the game progressed, Anthony Edwards got hotter, and I think the Cavs' defense got worse. And he was able to get more buckets. And he ended up with 44 in this game. He had an absolutely monster fourth quarter, I believe. Let me double check that. But I believe he had himself a absolutely bonkers like second or third quarter, which led to his explosion of points. Yeah, first quarter, he made one shot. It was a 3 at the top of the key. Second quarter, he made 6 buckets. 3 of them from 3, went 3 of 6 from 3. Third quarter, similar output, went 3 of 4 from 3. Basically made all but one shot in the third quarter. And then he cooled off a little bit in the fourth quarter, only made one shot. So great defense on him to start and finish this game. Still had some spotty moments. Let's talk about DeAndre Hunter, how he did in his debut. In the first quarter, defensively, he was pretty good. I thought did a really good job of sticking through and fighting through screens, especially to avoid like getting switched on to Rudy and allowing a smaller player to get switched on to him. I think DeAndre's probably going to be the most effective when he's in that lineup with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, because I think having Evan there and the flexibility of having Evan there really makes it a lot more useful. So, because what you would see sometimes in this game is that DeAndre would struggle to move laterally fast enough to get through and fight through some of these screens, or to fight through fast enough. And that would allow a blow-by opportunity for Anthony Edwards, which Anthony Edwards had a couple on DeAndre Hunter specifically in this game. Now, when Evan's on the floor with DeAndre, right, that changes the switch-up math, where if Jared and DeAndre are on the floor together, and they're the only two bigs on the floor, you're probably going to want DeAndre to stay at the perimeter, fight through these screens. When Evan is on the floor, it allows Evan to pick up at the top, which kills any blow-by that Anthony Edwards is trying to go for. So I wonder if he gets used more often in those like Ty Jerome, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley minutes instead of the Darius Garland minutes that you usually see, where you put Darius around with a bunch of floor spacers. I could see the appeal to having him on both of those teams, but I think if you're worried about defense, at least, putting him on those minutes with Donovan would probably be the most effective use of him as a defender. He's a big guy, long arms. You saw that tonight. Strong guy. He got down there in the post and battled a little bit with Rudy Gobert. I didn't think his jumper was falling today at the same rate that it usually does. He was 3 of 7 from the floor, but his three-pointer was falling. He was 3 of 4 from 3. Got some really good opportunities. He's going to get that with the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? He's going to get some really, really good opportunities because his Cavs team just a really strong, passing team, and they have so much gravity at the top of the key that he's going to get some really good spot up opportunities. It's nice to see him make some of those shots. A couple of things you want to see DeAndre just get a little bit more comfortable, right? Knowing when sets are designed for him, knowing when it's time for him to go get a bucket versus when he got to play off ball. And defensively, I thought he was a little nosy at times too, and I think that's a bad habit from Atlanta. He's gonna have to unlearn in Cleveland. Where in Cleveland, it does you no business to be nosy on the defensive end because you have two of the best rim protectors in the NBA, and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen on the floor. One's gonna be on the floor at all times, and sometimes you saw DeAndre because he's used to it in Atlanta, because they're such a poor defensive team, get a little bit nosy, get his head caught somewhere where it's not supposed to be in, and then they pass around and they get a wide open three for somebody like Anthony Edwards. That just can't continue to happen, right? Like, so he's gotta unlearn some of his nosier defensive habits. Also, like, I don't want to take too much from this game because he had a tough matchup. He had to go up against Anthony Edwards, and I don't think that's what DeAndre Hunter's here for, is to go up against two guards like Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was 6'4", 222, somewhere around that range. He's quicker than he is somebody who could shoot over guys. So in an ideal world, you would want somebody like an Isaac Okoro on him, or you would put maybe like another guard, right? Like maybe Jalen Tyson would be on him on the off minutes as well. And then you could pick up with DeAndre Hunter, instead of it being primarily DeAndre Hunter, because the way that Ant likes to play, he loves to get his screens, trigger downhill, get the blow-by opportunity, uses elite quickness against guys. He's going to have a natural quickness advantage because he's out of position trying to defend a two-guard in Anthony Edwards versus him going up against more traditional wing type players. Like, really what the type of player that DeAndre Hunter is here to kind of stop is more of a Jason Tatum type, right? Somebody who likes to get those mismatches because he likes to bring these guys to the post and shoot over them. That's what DeAndre Hunter is here to prevent. And also somebody who can switch and stay on the perimeter so you don't have to have Evan Mobley or switch to a zone to get a rebound versus a team like Boston. So I don't think today was the best read on what we're going to see out of DeAndre Hunter defensively, because in this game, because it's Jared Allen, you don't want to waste Evan Mobley on the perimeter. You didn't want to tire down Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland's obviously not going to guard Anthony Edwards. You want to put DeAndre Hunter on him. A bit of a mismatch for DeAndre defensively, and I think that ended up getting to him by the end of the game because Anthony Edwards just decided he was going to go downhill every time he saw him, and he's quicker than DeAndre Hunter, and he should be quicker, right? DeAndre's a 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, 3/4, where Ant-Man is a 6'4" combo guard, right? Like, that's kind of where his game is. So a bit of a mismatch for him, and I think a really tough matchup against Ant-Man, but you want him for those traditional wings, and I think he'll do a good job there as long as he learns, just to not get nosy defensively. Like, he had a couple of times he got a little nosy here or there. I think once he has that trust, that he has that safety net and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, he can feel free to be a little bit more patient on the top of the key when he's defending these guys, so he's not biting at every fake, because he knows, again, he has some bad habits to unlearn from Atlanta defensively that I think it's going to take him a little while to unlearn. Offensively, he made his threes there. Would have loved to see him create a little bit more, but he did look a little rusty. He mentioned on the broadcast that it's been a while since he played a basketball game. So, it's just, he's getting used to a lot, right? Hasn't played in a little bit. Got traded, new team, only got like 1 or 2 practices in with the squad. So I'm going to give him some grace offensively, even though he wasn't even bad offensively. In this one, he was 12 points here. We got to talk about the other dude, though, Evan Mobley. Look, man, somebody said he looked like Kevin Garnett in this one. It was not a bad comp, at least for this game. 28, 10, and 6, bro. 4 blocks. 2 steals. Like, that is one hell of a stat line from Evan Mobley. Defensively, I thought he was more special than he was offensively. Look, Evan Mobley's just developing into a special player. There were a couple of things where I just could not believe Evan Mobley did. One, y'all got to tell me what this move is if there's a name for it. But he was going to the hoop. He got the dude in the air, and he like hesitated on one foot to get dude up and then just went around him. I was like, I thought that was a travel, but it wasn't a travel. It was just one hell of a move. If that's going to be a consistent part of his bag offensively, good Lord. Look, he had 28. He only made 1 3. Most of the time, Evan gets like almost 30. He makes a bunch of threes. This wasn't like he was going crazy from 3. He was just hooping, being physical, right? Going right at Rudy Gobert. And that's what I loved about this Cavs team today. They did not have any fear of Rudy Gobert, the apparently the best defensive center in our era, right? That's what they tell us. They went right at Rudy, man. Evan had 28 and 10. Jared Allen had 14 and 13. They was on his head. And Jared Allen got him on a post move one time. It was nasty. Look, man, they was going at Rudy. It was pretty fun to watch. But yeah, Evan Mobley's a special player. There was another pass that he made to DeAndre Hunter where like Evan saved this ball from the baseline and then just shot this thing on a perfect line to DeAndre Hunter, and DeAndre Hunter smacked this 3. And I imagine at that moment, DeAndre Hunter understood how different his world was going to be from Atlanta because damn. Okay, that was from a big that made that pass. And I think that's another thing DeAndre Hunter's going to have to get used to, right? That the pass could come from anywhere. He used to play with Trae Young, where the pass only come from Trae Young, right? Trae Young going to have like 32 assists in the game because he's going to make sure that everything runs through him. Cavs, the offense can run through like 3 different guys at 3 different times, and sometimes that guy can be you, and that assist is going to come from anybody, and he's going to have to get used to that. But I would love to know what his insights were, like if he were mic'd up for this game, because there were a couple moments where you could just see his face and reaction on the bench, and you could just see him realize, oh, yeah, I'm in a different world than Atlanta, in a good way, absolutely in a good way. Donovan Mitchell was pretty good today, 10 of 14, very efficient night, 2 of 5 from 3, 23 points. Darius Garland, he's been hooping lately. We haven't talked about it enough. Look, as much as we talk about Evan Mobley's development, there are 2 players in this starting 5. I feel like their development has gotten lost in the shadow of the giant growth that Evan Mobley has made because, again, Jared Allen, offensively, he's getting a little bit of a bag, right? Like he has a little push shot, he has a little post move he can go to, and it's not a ton, right? He's not going to put up 40 a night or nothing like that, but it's enough to make him a consistent offensive contributor in a way that he just wasn't 2-3 years ago. I can't believe Jared Allen's not an all-star. He should be an all-star. He's played 2 seasons, I think, better than his all-star season. He should be a 3-time all-star. It's a shame he's only a 1-time all-star. Super underrated guy. The garbage man, give the garbage man his respect, man. He hooped tonight. But Darius Garland, another guy whose development I think kind of goes under the radar because of all the other things happening with the Cavs. I thought he played a good game today defensively without getting in foul trouble. I thought that was specifically like a good thing that Darius did. And Darius is he was in bucket mode today, right? He wasn't really in assist mode. Evan was getting assists. Donovan was playmaking. He was in bucket mode. He got 17, and he was making threes too all day long. So good game from Darius Garland. Ty Jerome had a ridiculous third quarter. I think he smacked. The Cavs got a 3. He gets a steal, and then he makes another 3. The Cavs get an excessive celebration penalty or something like that. Yeah, Ty, I'm excited to see if he can get minutes with DeAndre Hunter because they have that built-in chemistry from their days in Virginia. And I think him and Ty, I think they're going to do good things together once they get more minutes together and the Cavs kind of finalize what these rotations are. Because you have to remember, this is a Cavs team without Isaac Okoro still, without Dean Wade, without Max Strus. They're missing a lot of key guys to this rotation. So I'm excited to see what it looks like when they get all these guys back. But all that being considered, they had all those guys missing. I know the Timberwolves had a few guys missing as well, but this game was never close with Minnesota, and that's not nothing. Minnesota's not a terrible team, man. They were up 16 to start this game, and then they ended it plus 21. The Cavs were positive in every single quarter in this game. Literally the most sound ass whooping they've given out all year because this thing never got a threat of being close. And Anthony Edwards had 44 in this game, and it never even you never dropped a single bead of sweat during this game. Defensively, I think DeAndre Hunter has the potential here. And we saw it in that first quarter to take this unit to the second level, to a whole nother level of defense. And if the Cavs get there, they are a championship caliber basketball team, right? I said it all year, when the Cavs play good defense, they're the best basketball team in the world. And if DeAndre Hunter is the piece that can get them more consistent on defense, given what they already have on offense and what DeAndre Hunter can provide on offense, then the Cavs become one of the most dangerous teams, if not the most dangerous team in the playoffs, and a serious threat to any other contender, because that ability is incredible. They're 25-4 at home. They're 43-10 on the season. Cavs, they're 5 games away. If the Cavs win 5 more games, they will tie their record from last year. Think about that. They're 5 games away from doing that. And the season is not even close to over. We haven't even hit the All-Star break. Cherish these seasons because they're not guaranteed to happen too often. But the Cavs really putting together a clinic now. Excited to see how DeAndre Hunter acclimates. And maybe the All-Star break is a good thing for the Cavs because it gives DeAndre time to maybe get together with some of his teammates during the break and really get acclimated to how they want to use him, right? So all of these things, very positive. I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.